Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to a new TEW2020 video. It's a week on for recording my last video. I'm still stuck with the cold. Fantastic. A lot better, but still breathing is not ideal, but the show must go on. We're in a wee bit of a possible transition period, IRL. I'm toying with the idea of buying a new PC, so if that does come to fruition, won't really affect anything on the channel, but there may be, as I say, issues moving the save from computer to computer because of the complete modern system that Grey Dog software have with unlicensing and relicensing games. So hopefully there's no issues and hopefully everything continues on as normal, or we could just be knowing that I maybe not buy a PC. So we'll see how we stand with that. Just a case of needing to maybe get a new one because of age, because it's nearly a decade old and doesn't quite hold up to what it used to do, but we'll see. I say keep an eye out. Well, I would probably have advised on the socials by now anyway, but if it all goes terribly wrong and we lose the save, I'm sorry. But hopefully, this is just week after week, and the next episode will be the roundup of 2025 and the Power 500. But we still have winter is coming. A good end of year show. We've got a lot of kind of stuff where we're carrying on from Crown Glory. A lot of matches were made at that show, and hopefully start hinting towards the major 2026 storylines. Just looking at last year's main event was MJF defeating Kenny Omega to retain the world title. The year before that, we had Sammy Guevara retain against Bryan Danielson. The year before that, we had Hangman defend against Jon Moxley and retain. And the year before that, we had Kenny retain against Bryan Danielson. So historically, it really favours world champion Walter as he defends his belt tonight in a triple threat match against a new acquisition who's well known to AEW fans, and he will also defend against Darby Allin in a triple threat match as we start to maybe introduce some multi-person matches, because a lot of the big hitters are in other storylines. But I'll say hopefully it's a good show. Most of the matches, I think it's about 87% matches, but still there's some storyline stuff there. So let's crack on with Winter is Coming. So we've managed to sell out 77,295 seats in the Cotton Bowl Stadium. And we start off, because they're obviously on two brands, but we will be moving Kevin Steen, as just a super Rushmore of Elite congregating together. They say it's great to all be together. They're going to look to bring in as many championships as they can and take over AEW. They've got at least 3 of the members, 4 if you count Matt as well, who's obviously on the shelf, that have been here since day one, but they obviously go back a long time historically with Kevin Steen, Adam Cole and Jay White, and they just feel together they are strong as one. Kevin will be in action tonight. He'll take on Sami Zayn, and the guy says it's great that they're going to just beat these people down, take over AEW and take all the belts. So a 90 rated segment to start the show. Our opening contest was a superb wrestling match with good heat, as Yuka Sakazaki defeated Io Shirai in 1809 when she used the Yuka drill, giving Yuka her 9th defence of the Queen of AEW Championship. So I felt like, with the way the ratings that Yuka's been getting on Carnage, she's been getting 88 rated performances, I felt like it was only good to give her an opportunity against one of the more over women on the roster. So Io Shirai from Rampage got the opportunity. Her winning also raises the prestige of the Queen of AEW title, which we're looking to do, and an 84 is probably one of our top women's matches. But truthfully, Yuka's probably main event level. She doesn't really need to be on Carnage, but I feel like if you move her, she gets lost in the shuffle. So I'm going to keep her there for a bit longer as she retains the belt with a great opening contest. We then moved on to more stuff from the AEW Carnage brand, and it was a good matchup that saw Shota Umino defeat Ricky Starks in 13:43 by submission, meaning we have a new AEW Evolve champion, and that is Shota Umino. So it's an 80 rated segment. Starks is hinting at a face turn, but a little reaction. He's not very good at it. Have you seen real life game? I know obviously the mod, obviously this was started probably a year before he turned babyface, so there was never real intentions of him ever being that or being any good at it, but I think he's a pretty strong babyface, and even though he's 100% heel in this, the Ricky Starks babyface run is going to happen. But Shota Umino, as champion of Starks, will probably move on from the Carnage brand, and after it just shakes the hand of the new champ. So that's a 79 rated segment. Basically outgrowing that brand very quickly. We then had the first defence of the AEW Tag Team Championships for FTR, and they took on Team Heyman. So heel versus heel matchup. Good matchup here though, as FTR defeat Team Heyman with Cash Wheeler pinning Claudio with a big rig. 82, I think you can really be happy with that one, where it's going to get a little penalty for two heel teams. But it's just again giving Hook as much experience as possible with a very capable athlete in the form of Claudio. Next up, we had a match for the TBS Championship, and Konami gets another opportunity, this time at the mid-card belt. And it was about that had superb wrestling and good heat, as Kairi Hojo defeated Konami in 15:51 with a spear. Fifth defence of the belt, 84. These two ladies had good chemistry together, they brought it. And if they had psychology, that's probably an 87-88 rated matchup, so if they can get 1 or 2 points in that department, they can only do good things. But 93 for Kairi Hojo. She's sensational. She really is. So good. More women's action, as the champ is in action, is Mercedes Varnado. And she says that it's been interesting that Red Velvet's had a wee winning streak. She started to gain a bit of confidence and thinks that she can become women's champion. We'll see what happens here when she steps up to the boss's level. And that's a 79 for Mercedes promo. Match itself also gave an 82, so that's quite a nice surprise. I didn't know these two never wrestled before, so seeing them get great chemistry, quite a surprise. But yeah, all of these matches have been fantastic tonight. Great showing of women's wrestling, and it was about that had great heat and good wrestling. Mercedes defeats Red Velvet in 14:16 by submission with a back statement, giving Mercedes the 9th defence of the AEW Women's Championship. So great stuff there. Red Velvet can only get better. That is really encouraging to see, actually. Really, really encouraging. We then moved on to the matchup between Kevin and Sami, and it was about that had superb wrestling and great heat, as Sami Zayn defeated Kevin Steen in 14:47 with a quick roll-up. Obviously got to get the babyface the shock victory here. Sami off his game. Great chemistry with both, of course, but only a 76, despite this being a steal the show matchup. Negative there was Sami's inconsistency, but Sami gets to win a little bit of revenge for that huge beatdown at Crown and Glory. Kevin decides he's going to absolutely beat Sami Zayn to a pulp. The rest of the guys are obviously just like Kevin handled this on his own. He chases him through the stadium. Sami gets out in a car, Kevin's away, chases him in another car, and yeah, the plucky underdog gets the first bit of revenge over the Super Elite of Rushmore, or however we're going to call that stable. I'll get a solid name for it at one point. Next up was the matchup for the TNT Championship, Master versus Apprentice, and it was a good matchup. Daniel Garcia though defeats Bryan Danielson in 1932 by submission with a sharpshooter, giving Garcia his first title defence. A 78, Garcia only a 67 performance because he was off his game, but Bryan happy to put him over. Heel versus heel as well, but a good proper mentor versus mentee in this matchup. But 78, not too bad. I'd make it technical masterclass as well, so maybe a few things there that possibly hampered it. But I say it was always going to be poor for the face heel combination. It's poor with Bryan, the fact that we need to use him only on pay-per-views, but we do need to build to the future. And speaking of the future, someone that wants that matchup, someone that's been on a great winning streak, is Swerve Strickland, and him and Garcia have a little heated blow as Daniel Garcia, or a heated confrontation as Garcia makes his way to the backstage area, hinting at the next possible program, and a very solid 87 rated segment. Then moved on to the matchup for the Trios Championship. Of course, the winners of the Trios tournament was Will Ospreay and Aussie Open from the United Empire. And here with the good heat, decent wrestling as Kofi and Woods defeat Ospreay and Aussie Open in 10 minutes and 1 when Kofi pinned Kyle Fletcher with the SOS. Second defence of the AEW Trios Championships. Kyle Fletcher just a 59 compared to the 90 of Will Ospreay. Well, overall matchup as well. The worry is, like, Big E can barely go 10 minutes even in this type of matchup. So he's obviously he's a massive physical decline, and I think this is would this have been pre-injury? So that wouldn't even have hampered him in this. But we've got all three of them, we need to utilise them in a good way, and I feel like with Ospreay you've obviously got a singles competitor, and with Aussie Open, two guys that will be no pun intended, but elite in the tag division. So we'll keep it as it is just now, with Eco Fame Woods retaining. It's still an 81 though, it's pretty respectable. And we then moved on to a matchup that had fantastic heat and good wrestling, and has more been from a storyline perspective than the actual match itself. But had Logan Paul defeat Cody Rhodes in 14:29, following interference from Matty Wahlberg. So a 74, 84 performance from Cody, 71 from Logan Paul. Obviously Cody doesn't have the psychology, so the fact that he carried it this much is not too bad. It's also the storytelling match of the night. If you look at the negatives here, you'll see psychology and experience holding back, so that's fair enough. The reason I went with this feud as well is like from a overness perspective. Like Logan has come over like nothing else. Like he's went for like 77 where he started to like 89, 90 over, purely with just doing promos with Cody. So that is why Cody Rhodes is going to be such a vital hand in the Carnage brand. But we'll keep Logan Paul there for a while, we'll keep developing his skills, and we'll see if we ever want to take it more serious. It's just a fact, he's wrestled in real life, so we'll utilise him, and I want to do some funny stuff with Danhausen. And after the matchup, Matty Wahlberg and Logan Paul both beat down Cody Rhodes to a 78 rated segment. He's come over as well, he was like 50 over, and he's now in like the 70s. So the partnership with Logan Paul has been nothing but great for Matty Wahlberg as well. Are we near main event time? Close to main event time, co-main event. Next up with the exceptional matchup, we had an Asylum Insanity matchup, which of course is one of the cinematic matches. John Moxley gets a bit of revenge on Malakai Black, because obviously Brody King can't interfere, and he wins in 18-12 with a Death Rider. So a 95 for Mox, 85 for Malakai, 85 overall. And the lack of psychology probably stops this from being a 90. If I could just get Moxley into the 78, 79s for psychology being perfect, but these two have done well without that being a positive for them. And obviously the production values will help a match up like this one, but I felt like good gimmick match. Can maybe fit another gimmick match in the feud to end it off in January. Main event time. I don't know how this is going to go. Like, Darby Allin and Waller have had great matches, like near 90s. The third guy is talented as hell, but doesn't have the overness, but can probably still compete at a high level. 86. But they had superb wrestling and good heat. Saw Waller defeat Darby Allin and Kanushiki Takeshi. I can say Takeshi on the bother. But yeah, 1916. When Waller defeated Takeshita in a very naked choke. Fourth defence of the belt, he's defending the belt in every single show he's on, so he's beat the likes of Miro, the matchup that was amazing against Santana, just a proper wild brawl, and he is the true definition of a ring general, a fighting champion, despite him being a nasty heel. So Takeshita's a weak link here, obviously we need to build Takeshita up, but that's fine. Just want to give him a few big matches, get him in the air of him, and then we'll soon get him into a performance here. But you can imagine 93 Darby, 95 Walter, 90 odd Takeshita. That would be stellar. So an 86 for our main event. And he's who's going to challenge next, because he's fighting a lot of people. Most of the main guys are all heels, so we are going to have to start building up some baby faces. But that is the reason I've went the way I've went. So we have that pressure of going, right, we need to build stars, we need to build baby faces. So 86, best promo was a 90. Got a couple of boosts. I think we're looking at about a 92 for our show. One off, 93. Fantastic. So still, pretty good show. I'm happy with that one. As I say, you put all your pressure on the main event and the best segment, plus you get a few boosts. But you can certainly see here, a couple of title changes. In fact, I think only one. Let's see it. Retain. So it really was a show where we were just obviously getting a few storylines over, adding prestige to title runs and establishing, as I say, certain divisions. Obviously Ricky Starks will make his move, Shota Umino will lead the Carnage brand. So the way my way at most shows now is, I'll gain no really any pop anymore. We're as popular as we can be. I feel like you'd have to get like a 98, 99 to gain pop, but at the same time we'll always lose one overness, one popularity with the Carnage brand. I'm happy to do that. We're way popular enough that I can get away with that, and that just allows the younger stars to develop on television, get the full audience as well, and have it treated like an A show. And every so often Cody and Logan Paul can have that on our segment, so there's not as much pressure on the main event, and Cody can sometimes carry that. So overall pretty happy with that one. As I say, lots of green there, a few light blue, But yeah, pretty respectable regardless. So I'll call it there. Thank you very much for watching this episode. We'll be moving on, as I say, to the Power 500. As I say, hopefully by now I've decided what I'm doing with my PC, if I've decided to go for another year, or if I've went elsewhere for one. But most importantly, as I say, thank you much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to check out the Grey Dog Software forums and the Fantasy Bookers subreddit. And of course, bethebooker.net. Never know, by this time there might finally be Pro Wrestling Sim content on here. It's just been a case of, it's not to do with the game, it's strictly to get the save that you're in grind and basically grips you. So thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.